Anew, England to D1. Argentina v Austria, 1740 to 2030. ETV terrestrial. Limited.
Just when you think the hype surrounding World Cup winning captain Lionel Messi can't become any more fever pitched, the 8-time Ballon d'Or winner goes and bags a hat-trick in the opening game. We're going to see if Argentina can maintain their momentum after an emphatic start to their title defence. They're up against an Austria side coming off a successful start of their own. A 3-1 victory against Jordan was their first of the World Cup since 1990. It's their first appearance since 98. And Ralph Rangnick's high-energy, dynamic outfit will look to disrupt the flow of the world champions in a game that could well decide the winner of Group J. Dallas, Texas is the venue for this high noon showdown local time. The stadium hosting the most games at this World Cup is about 17 miles west of downtown in Arlington. It's the home of the Dallas Cowboys and scene of England's win against Croatia last week. The roof and the AC are on for this one. And here's how Monday at the 2026 World Cup looks. Day 12 will be still counting. Messi, Mbappe and Haaland all back in action. They stepped into the tournament alight last week. The other Group J game between Jordan and Algeria takes place in San Francisco later on. I'm delighted to tell you we're joined by Ashley Williams, Olivier Giroud and Cesar Azpilicueta. They're here and we're going to hear from them very shortly after we've had a look at how the two teams line up first of all. Emi Martinez makes his 21st consecutive appearance and start for Argentina in goal in a major tournament. The only change comes at right back, with Molina coming in for the injured Montiel. McAllister and Fernandez will start in central midfield. The Paul, who's made more appearances than any player under Scaloni, plays off the right. And up top is Lautaro Martinez alongside Messi, who's chasing that historic 17th World Cup goal. Alex Schläger for Austria, who missed Euro 2024 due to injury, continues in goal. Danson comes in at centre-back in one of three changes, with versatile liner set to shift from midfield to left-back. Seibelt, who has featured in all but one of Rangnick's games in charge, will out of the midfield alongside his RB Leipzig teammate, Schläger. 20-year-old Vanna comes in for just his 5th Austria cap, while Sabitzer will bring up his century. Gregozic is preferred to Kalajdzic and Arnautovic at the centre of attack. But we're going to start with who else but Messi. I mean, that 24 hours was huge, wasn't it? The big guns came to town and Messi had to get the hat-trick. Olivier, as a man who is personifying the art of goal scoring, you can wax lyrical about the great guy.
Yes, I believe he had a great first game. Obviously, hat trick set the tempo, the pace, and I think Kylian Mbappe and Erling Haaland respond well. I think it's like fine wine, like one of the supporters said. Like he's very close to beat the closer record, but I still think Kylian Mbappe will surpass him. So
Well, Kylian Mbappe's going to have a bit more time, isn't he? One would think. I mean, who dare say actually when it is time up for Messi? Because I think there's a quote today I read that even commentators 2 World Cups ago thought that might be the end of him. It's the opposite.
He doesn't look like he's slowing down at all, does he? I think he's adapted his game really well. The team are obviously playing for him as well, as we'll see in a little bit. But he looks like he's enjoying his football. I think maybe moving to Miami is giving him a new lease of life. When you see him in this game, especially, he just looks like he's enjoying himself.
yeah, he's a free player, playmaker. Basically, he drops deeper to dictate the game. Sorry, and in order to accelerate, slow down the game. So I think the activities he's got around him, like the willing runners covering a lot of grounds around him. I'm thinking about Paul, Enzo Fernandez, McAllister, allow him to um, keep his energy more than ever when they've got the ball.
We shouldn't underestimate. You've only recently retired. You know just how much work it takes, Cesar, to be 39 in 2 days' time, and to keep up that kind of energy, to keep himself in the kind of shape that he can start for Argentina at a World Cup.
Something that is amazing. Also, he has been evolving since his career started a bit off the right. Was more kind of a winger coming inside, linking the play with his teammates. Now he's more. The last game I saw him more in the scoring position. He could come and drop a little bit to take the ball, but also it was the goals he scored. They were like pure number 9, a rebound off the keeper. So his ambition is outstanding.
And we'll talk a little bit more about how Argentina are adapting to make sure they get the best out of him. But his data is really interesting, actually, because he's sprinting less, he's dribbling less, but he's scoring more, and just looks more efficient.
Yeah, it's just clever, isn't it? Because although he's the ultimate professional, when you get a little bit older, you can't do what you used to do when you was younger, obviously. So he's adapted his game, and what we're seeing here is the fact that he's doing less physical, he's getting less physical stats, but actually his XG and his touches in the opponent box are up uh, more than they've ever been. So it just shows that he's changed his game a little bit. It's obviously working for him. He understands he can't be doing all that pressing and all of the bits that no one really wants to do apart from me and you and defenders.
It's our job.
Yeah, but he's just there to score goals. And obviously, whilst he's scoring, that's okay for the team.
Oh, and the team obviously understand what their roles are around him.
Yeah, definitely. As I said before, De Paul, McAllister, and Enzo Fernandez, and all the players. I mean, he's got 9 players around him covering lots of grounds defensively when they don't have the ball. As soon as they get the ball back, they will look first for him because he is the playmaker. He's the one who can drop deeper, as I say, to dictate the game. But also, I love Alvarez. I think we're going to talk about him later, but he can stretch the defense and allow Messi to receive the ball in the pocket. But he loves to roam around on the pitch, and
And
yeah,
if you're going to do that, you need somebody looking after you, don't you? Rodrigo de Paul seems to be the one that it kind of personifies that kind of that minder role.
his bodyguard, right?
Yeah, that's his nickname. He's Messi's bodyguard. We just have a look here. This is him on the ball. Messi's checked his shoulder. He knows what's around him as we play it on. McAllister's also checked his shoulders. They're all in sync, but this ball from the ball is brilliant between lines, and that sets off the play straight away. So it should a great finish at the end, but it shows that he's dictating the play. Little flip round the corner, doesn't stop there, goes and gets it again. He's everything that was good with Argentina, and it's not involving Messi, is probably involved with the ball. He does a lot of the work for the team. He does a lot of Messi's running. You see here, Messi just able to jog, save his energy. The ball, put the press on. He's got a throw in. Sorry, he's won a throw for his team in the corner flag. The ball again, putting the press on, and by him doing that, allows Messi to just conserve his energy for times like this, where you want Messi on the ball shooting that goal. Again, here he is, he's doubling up, wins it back, knows what's ahead of him, starts another attack for his team, a clever little ball into Messi, and again doesn't just watch it, continues on, drives, full of running. Actually, it's a really clever ball and it's good defending in the end. Here we see him dictating the play again, very comfortable, breaking lines with the pass, two passes, and they're in again.
One thing which is really interesting in that clips, when they have the ball, they play a lot of through balls between the lines. This team, deflection, trickles, and they look for Messi. But this team is built like to play inside. They don't have any proper wingers, maybe Almada, but De Paul will come inside. And I think because they don't have these wingers to give them that possibility to and this pace also to cross the ball, I think they play a lot of inside. So that's where the danger can come.
The relationship also extends off the pitch. I mean, besides the fact that he followed him to Miami as well at just 32 years old, and he even pulled him to the hairdressers. Apparently, he persuaded him to go and get his hair cut. They clearly have, Cesar, a very special relationship, and the work they've done at Miami together, it feels like De Paul has kind of pushed Messi to be in the kind of shape and to be ready for this one.
Yeah, they do. You can see on the pitch, they work very close to each other. Not only with the ball, like we just saw in the clips, on the ball, this person is always for Messi, which is very important. I think Messi also feels that confidence. They look for him, so as soon as they turn, they want him on the ball, but also off the ball. The ball does an amazing work, and I think it's very, very important for Messi.
Great seeing you two link up again, by the way, we should say. I mean, it's been... Actually, don't feel left out. It was always a very effective relationship, and we're going to bring you in on this relationship. Well, the last time they were together, apparently, was a water park in Dubai. So,
Now we are here, yeah.
a bit like Messi. Okay, let's bring in South American football expert Tim Vickery, who is in Rio de Janeiro for us. Tim, you just heard us discussing that this Argentina team now does seem to be built to allow Messi to be at his very best.
Well, this team, remember they've won 2 Copa Americas and a World Cup. It's like that Spain team of a few years ago. It is essentially Messi and his fan club. That's the way that the team has been constructed. But over the last few years, the fan club has grown up a little bit. They're able to win games, play very good football without Messi. And I think that's one of the reasons that he's still here. He did flirt with us. Is he going to play? Is he? He is. One of the reasons is the whole thing is not quite as dependent on him. The pressure isn't quite on as much, and he can really enjoy his football. Though today he might miss Julian Alvarez, because Alvarez, I think, has become as important as Messi to Argentina. They found out in the tough games in the World Cup last time round that they needed Alvarez to do Messi's running for him. Alvarez carrying a knock, they're nursing him along, so he's not starting again. It'll be interesting to see how Argentina cope in this game without him.
What is the feeling generally then in South America about the prospects of Argentina going back to that?
Well, the previous times that Argentina have been champions, there's been an air of dark tragedy about their attempts to hold on to their crown. Oh no, we're going to lose our status. It's much lighter this time round. The last 3.5 years have been like an extended lap of honour. A kind of, let's appreciate Lionel Messi while we have him. And there's something of that in this tournament as well. So the atmosphere is much lighter. Now, history tells us that it's very, very tough to retain the World Cup. Argentina have some real virtues. And I think the midfield is probably even better than it was 4 years ago. Interesting that Oli mentions the lack of wingers, the lack of Di Maria. Di Maria, he's the one who took that final away from you, Oli. Last time round, and how can you replace a player like Di Maria? That's a problem for them. Also, my big worry is the defensive unit. That hasn't been renewed. That's not through choice. That's because no new defenders have really appeared. And if you remember the last World Cup, so many times that defensive unit crumbled under pressure. You worry in a longer tournament, an extra knockout round. And Austria will be interesting today because they will go direct, they will pose some questions. And since they squeezed past Oli's France in that final in Qatar, the only European opposition they faced was a warm-up match against Iceland 2 weeks ago. So today, I think the World Cup gets serious. We'll learn much, much more about them in the next 90 minutes.
Thank you, Tim. And sorry.
Thank you, Jim, for reminding me
bring down the
that
mood here.
it's quite tough to win it back to back. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, less than 20 minutes to kick off in this matchup then between the top two teams in Group J. A win for either team in Dallas would see them progress to the knockouts. Let's head over to Texas and say howdy to our very own Sue Ellen and JR. Danny Murphy's alongside Steve Bauer.
So, welcome to this magnificent arena, which is packed with Argentina.
I'm sure they were saying something before the
about 4 hours before kick-off, and there were thousands and thousands of them here already. They're all here, of course, as you've been mentioned, to see what man we've been lucky enough to do many World Cups and watch Lionel Messi. Has the excitement level ever diminished for you, Danny?
Never. We were both excited waking up this morning to see him. He's a genius. He does magical things. The fans are all here to see him. I love the way he walks around now as if he's not interested, and then bursts into life and does these wonderful things for these amazing supporters. I mean, you haven't experienced anything like this unless you've seen Argentina play in a World Cup. Their fans are in the stadium 2 hours before. They were outside 4 hours before, as Steve just said. Wonderful game, excited for it, can't wait for it to get going.
Absolutely, it's always a privilege to watch Argentina. What about Austria that Tim just mentioned there? We saw them get out of the group in the Euros. We know the way Ralf Rangnick wants to play. How do they go about nullifying Messi and co today for you?
Well, I don't think they'll change. I think they're going to be high energy on the front court. I think they're going to play the way they do. The problem they've got is Argentina have 2 of the best footballers centre-halves in the competition, Romero and Martinez. So if they don't press well, they're going to get played through. And then they're going to find Messi in the hole. So I think it's going to be a difficult one for them to try and stop Argentina playing with the quality of Argentina's 2 centre-halves.
Okay, this is all to play for, as you say, Gabby. Winner goes through to the next round, and there's hardly a spare seat to be had in this wonderful stadium.
Cracking atmosphere. Thank you very much, guys. Well, the high-energy pressing style, which has become synonymous with Rangnick's Austria, has its roots nearly 60 years earlier. It can be traced back to legendary coaching figure Ernst Happel, a native of Vienna who won the European Cup final in 1970 and Hamburg in 1983, and coached Netherlands and Austria. Rangnick's Gegenpress then made its biggest mark with RB Leipzig, and his ideas helped shape the modern game, even if his spell at Manchester United made less of an impact. He took over in 2022 with Austria impressing in Euro 2024, and he's really captured the imagination of the public there, a trend which continued in their opening game.
extrem langen Ballbesitzzeiten von links nach rechts und wieder zurück zum Torwart interessiert, sondern wir versuchen schon, wenn wir eigenen Ballbesitz haben, dann auch so schnell wie möglich wieder in die eigene Aktivität, in das Kreieren von Torchancen und das Herausspielen von Torchancen zu investieren.
Well, actually, the stats from the first round of matches show you exactly the styles, the principles that Rangnick wants from his team. They made more sprints than any other side in the tournament.
Yeah, no, we know his style. It didn't really work out at Manchester United, but this Austrian team really buy into it. You can see here the press. There's 5 players in on the Jordan players, and everybody's committed to it. So what happens is that one player goes, he's backed up by another player. They get them in a position where they just have to kick the ball long. Now it's comfortable possession back for Austria and their centre-backs. This is Lima, who today is playing at full-back. So Vinner's in, so it'd be interesting to see if he can set up the press like Lima did. But again, they're forcing errors with the press. When a team, you can see the 4-2-3-1, which is Ralf Rangnick's style. When a team does try and play through the lines, they just suffocate the space. They all get around it and win the ball back. And then from there, They like to spring out into a counter-attack style. You see head down, liners, head down. He's not thinking about anything else. They play forward runs and forward balls, and they try and get the ball as forward as quick as possible. So it'd be really interesting against an Argentinian team that we've just spoken about, doesn't run a lot, and an Austrian team that likes to sprint around a
Likes to
lot.
run all day. And Lima there, you want to talk about a little bit more, don't you? He's so versatile, isn't he?
Lima
yeah.
is a true Swiss Army knife, if I can say, because now I wanted to say it because it's a common expression in French. Basically, his versatility allow him to play right back at Bayern, number 10 first game, and then left back.
Yeah.
I love this player. I love his mentality, his intelligence, his vision of the game, and he's great technically, you know. And yeah, playing him like in the middle of the game, like as a number 10, I think it was a good idea from Rangnick.
And you can see that he's one of the best at winning the ball back, and actually they were one of the best in the whole of qualifying at winning the ball back, the quickest of all the teams in Europe.
Yeah, we've seen there how quick they press, they outnumber players in the zone. They also, the Brest defense is very aggressive. So let's see, because Argentina maybe is a team that they like to have more the ball, a bit slower pace. I'm not sure they will try to get in the ball as quick as possible. So let's see in transitions how, if they can punish the Argentina team.
We will see a lot more about where Argentina are at in this tournament and whether they are serious challenges to do something only two teams have done before and win back-to-back World Cups. You want to talk a little bit, though, we've got time, about why you think Alvarez, although he's obviously nursing that injury, would be a better partner, strike partner.
La Rania, a spider.
You've got nicknames today.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because, you know, he's the legs of that team, he's the engine, he's everywhere basically. And as I said before, like when he's on the pitch, he can give some solutions in the depth, running behind. And he's created the space for Messi also to allow him to receive the ball in the pocket between the lines. I love this player. His the intensity put on the pressing is outstanding, and is so complementary to Messi. So that's why I thought he was the one to start
Well,
today.
look at this, because it looks like Austria are keeping Argentina waiting. A bit of mind games going on there, say so?
Maybe. But I think at that time before the game, it's just focus, starting as quick as possible, and that feeling of getting the ball rolling, especially with all the scene before the game, the anthems, the whole team out there. You know, kind of feeling like every game is a final.
Messi looking to eclipse Miroslav Klose's World Cup record today. I mean, as you said, it could well be eclipsed itself by Mbappe later, and it possibly will be in the future, but it could be a historical night there.
Yeah, you'd like to think that he's going to get it done today. He's hungry for it. This is history that he's trying to make, and you know, especially in that first game, I think he'll be feeling confident with his team that they'll supply him all the bits we've spoken about. If they can be very tidy in possession, I think they might be able to break through Austria's press with a little bit more volley and supply Messi to make history.
Well, it's exactly 40 years today since that goal was scored by Maradona against England in the World Cup, and you'd expect something equally as special, wouldn't you, from Messi today out there? He seems to have hit the right kind of form for Argentina already in this tournament. Where can it go? Well, don't forget, you can watch every game in Ultra HD on iPlayer, and audio description is also there if it's Select HD on iPlayer. But let's rejoin the commentary team, Danny Murphy alongside Steve Bow.
Gary, thank you very much indeed. Welcome back to Northern Texas, between Dallas and Fort Worth, the third of 9 games in this spectacular stadium in this World Cup, including a semi-final. A bunch of hundreds of photographers in a scrum down there, all for that man, all sensing history. Yet another remarkable accolade on the list is possible today, as you say, with one more World Cup goal. A sea of colour, we will pause for the 2 national anthems. Austrian started around this stadium, but it is the feeling beginning here for Argentina, who follow their nation with so much passion. Austria, of course, projecting themselves in the right front here. Fresh from that win over Jordan, their first World Cup win since Italia 90. Never have they put away from the world's biggest competition for 28 years.
Volume 13.
In their second game here in this stadium. And a win, and if Jordan failed to beat Algeria later, then not only will Argentina be through with a game to spare, they will be confirmed as group winners. Is it the third time that these two nations have ever met, and the first in 36 years. And the man in charge of it all, Amin Mohamed from Egypt, nearly 40-year-old making his World Cup debut here in the United States, and officiating his second game, having opened up with South Korea's win against the Czech Republic. Leading the VAR team, Thomas Almani, the official from Qatar. Well, Argentina, once again, led by Lionel Messi on his 201st cap after his 61st career hat-trick on his 200th appearance, and he could today become only the third player to score in 6 consecutive World Cup games. The only change is a fullback where Atletico's Molina replaces Montiel, just as he did at half-time against Algeria. The side again includes 5 Premier League-based players, and 10 of that starting 11 won the World Cup in 2022. Austria make 3 changes to the team that beat Jordan. Tottenham's Kevin Danzo, the striker Gregoritsch, and the 20-year-old Banner all come in. Banner's first competitive start. Marcel Sabitzer, the League Cup winner with Manchester United, becomes only the 5th player to reach 100 caps for his country. Another one, David Alaba, captains them again. And Bayern's Konrad Laimer moves into the back 4. Posch does play, despite breaking his jaw against Jordan. And is this going to be another day of history for Messi? Another landmark on the horizon. Scaloni, one of only 3 World Cup winning coaches of Argentina. Ralf Rangnick is a familiar face. He's just signed a new deal with Austria. after 4 years in charge already. Straight to the round of 32, an extremely strong position in Group J. This is the latest stage for Lionel Messi's last World Cup dance. Remember, one more goal today makes him the highest scorer in World Cup history. And we never tire of watching the little magician.
No, we certainly don't. What a wonderful atmosphere. I thought we'd witnessed one of the best atmospheres in the USA-Australia game, but this taking it up a notch. These supporters are incredible, and they're all here to see the main man.
Didn't reach the main man though. Austria give it straight back to Romero. Into alongside Martinez at the heart of the Argentinian backline. Restricted to Algeria to shots off target, a single one on target. An opening game, but we expect this to be a tougher test for the holders.
Yeah, this Austrian side's got plenty of experience, plenty of players who are used to playing in big games, so they won't be overawed by it.
Dinas on the overlap. Would have kept it in as well. It's messing in the end. Despite Mana's appeals for the corner.
Good positive run from Fernandez. Just steps a yard, doesn't he?
This down zone. Straight to the starting lineup today by Ralph Ranier.
Actually finished the season strong for Spurs, Dan, so did really well.
36 times in the end. That's Posh, who, as I mentioned, broke his jaw against Jordan. He's with that protection today. Teammate of Messi's. Lovely first touch from outside. Ball space there for Martinez. The recovery was a clean one. The Inter striker has stayed grounded.
Still down their own players, haven't kicked the ball out, but that all came from, we talked about that press, it's a bit too wet, they all followed him and they got through it with a lovely bit of play. Here's the tackle. He's definitely got the ball there. Maybe one of them did, one of them didn't.
It's Posh and Schlager to making the challenge for Austria. There's no doubt came with a degree of risk.
I think he was enough on the ball there. I think it's the right decision. Yeah, that's the risk you take. That's the risk you take when you really go after a team. It was triggered by Sabitzer. They followed him in numbers. And that little bit of play, a little bit of misfortune as well in the middle. Yeah, he gets the ball. Just late. He got it late, but he did get a touch on it. It's good from touch. But once they did break the lines, space was there. And that Lacayette, the pace maybe from Martinez, just allowed them to get forward.
And this check is still going on. It's just been announced to the stadium from the Qatari official, Solari and VAR. That is why the Egyptian referee is not restarting the game.
Well, there was contact from the other defender.
Martinez is still very upset. The wait goes on here.
Feels the longer they're looking at it, the more likely they're going to give it.
He's been sent across. Alba tried to speak to him. Is he going to stick with his original decision?
There is a connection before he gets the ball. Then he gets the ball, so I think they're going to give it. But a first little touch on his right hand side of his leg.
Here we go then.
Definitely a penalty.
Now a penalty in the second. Alexander Saga, the Salzburg goalkeeper, stands in his way. Lionel Messi from the spot. He is human. His way for history goes on.
It's a poor penalty. It's a bit too casual for me. But maybe justice was done. We expected him to score, didn't we? Let's be honest. As you said, he is human after all. He's allowed the odd mistake.
Mistake, or was it one penalty each in your attack, or?
No, I didn't say that, Messi. But yeah, it was Mr. Joe Hart, so what probably was. He's actually missed a few this time, Messi, because he takes so many. Of course, he's going to just a little bit casual as he was running up to it. I know he does have a relaxed style when he takes them, but
He doesn't hit maybe. Yeah, he knows it's a history one. Maybe.
Pressure. A little bit of pressure, maybe.
Well, what a start. Still 0-0 in Dallas. towards Schmidt. It's from Argentina.
Here we see again. I think maybe as well, as he took it, he saw the keeper going the right way, so he's tried to wind it or put it more in the corner. Means you pull it wide and panic a little bit as you sometimes you see a keeper going a certain way, but it wasn't great.
Well, it's the 7th penalty of this World Cup, and it is the first that has not been converted. Harry Kane, of course, had a couple of goes. I said to you before the tournament, with a charity bet on Messi being the first man to miss a penalty in a World Cup. I'm sure you would have taken it up.
No. I had no doubt he was going to score. Just thought, was just waiting for it to mess up. Maybe breaking the record was meant for a better goal.
I've always said you're such a romantic.
It has been said before.
Occasionally. Gregoritsch back on his feet for the Austria free kick to be taken by the captain David Alaba. Still going to ground. 21. Gregoritsch. Alaba takes it towards Danzo, won the header. Martinez away. Danzo once more. Sabitzer. Enzo Fernandez with the clearance back from Alaba. Posh for Austria. There's the opponent to reach that one. There's Lima. It's back at fullback today, where we saw him extensively in the Champions League for Bayern.
I think with his experience, they moved him there. Obviously, Messi likes to drift over that side, makes sense.
Again, the 29-year-old to Sabitzer on his 100th cap. That's an Austria free kick.
Yeah, right decision. Just caught him back in the car. Didn't need to either, McAllister. Silly place to give one away.
Sabitzer and the 20-year-old Paul Vanna behind this. Proudly pictures a member of the Austrian coaching staff who got onto the pitch. He's been hauled back by the 4th official now. Sabitzer's delivery. Messi. Holding possession. Now he's back in possession. Sabitzer's interception. throw.
It's an awful ball in from Sabitzer, who's normally much better than that. He's good on set plays. He's hit it low.
Minus touch. Couldn't find a way through. Again, you're asking about his misses. That was his 7th World Cup penalty. He's missed 3 of them.
Yeah. Can't be the best in the world in everything, can you?
Martinez. Safety first from Stefan Posch. Bridge back to Vanna. Sabitzer had made the run. It's Marcel Sabitzer's cross. Through to Schmidt. Halfway tap the play for a goal kick.
It's actually a good break from Austria. Banner in goal, nice and strong there. Playing in that little number 10 role, good feet. Got that switch out Sabitzer, whose cross wasn't quite up to the standard, but they got numbers in the box.
He was quite quick for Austria. His former German under-21 international came through at Bayern in March, decided to play for the Austrian national team. It's his first competitive start today. Finishing the title winning PSV. They also have former Chelsea midfielder Carney Chukwuemeka on the bench. Similarly in March, committed to the Austrians. He's still only 22 as well. McAllister. Here's pass from Molina. Martinez looking for the ball. And he found a mistake. Here's Messi. And in the end, the leg of Schlager was important. Austria got away with that one.
I thought he should have shot earlier. Just to place it either side, and he tried to do the last little touch to bring it around the last play, and I thought he had a chance to shoot.
Sandro Martinez.
Just before that there, and just before he got across, I thought he could have shot, but maybe it wasn't sitting right enough for him.
Here's the ball. Now Molina. pitch. Very contested in those central areas. It's a for Austria. Martinez. I think it's not the frustration of that challenge for the penalty award.
Yeah, they're coming together. It's a foul, nothing more.
Rodrigo de Paul trying to indicate to the referee he'd been caught there.
He's trying to follow through a little bit. Again, number 10.
Ball is back on. This is a push for Austria. Simon. In from Alaba. Schmidt deep into it. Schlager. Tosh with the cross. Oh, he's got a header. Sabitzer got a shot. Romero in the way. And the first corner of the game goes Austria's way.
Yeah, good quality ball into the box. Good numbers in there as well. Romero did well twice, actually, just before that as well. Got himself in a good position. Just a little hint of a chance there for Austria.
7 of their last 10 World Cup goals have come from set plays. Plenty in there for this one, well defended by Argentina. And Dean won't get to that. That is the signal for the first hydration break. 0-0 still here in Dallas after that missed Messi penalty. Here's the football for you today to kick off with Messi. Mbappe and France coming next. They play right tonight at 9:30 here on BBC One. Remember, England-Ghana is also live for you on Tuesday at 8 o'clock on BBC One. And then on Wednesday from 10 o'clock, Scotland's big night against Brazil is live for you also on BBC One. And remember to see this match from every angle. You can follow Messi's every move or even see the action through his eyes. Just scan the QR code now to get the World Cup 3D experience in the BBC Sport app. So 0-0, and we thought this might be a harder test for Argentina. Let's bring in Ashley Williamson. So it is proven, Ash, with Austria's approach.
Yes, fascinating start, Steve, to the game, and we spoke about Austria's press before the game and how Argentina are going to be able to deal with it. Will they manage to deal with it? Early on in the game, they did very well. Here we see McAllister dropping in between the centre-backs. That's the Austria press. Everybody's front-footed. They try and swarm the Argentina team. Here you can see 6 players around the ball, but because Argentina is so tidy and neat with the ball, they manage to get out down the left flank. There's Almeida making an inside run just inside Danso. This one he ends up being offside, but they set their stall out early with tidy play. Sabitzer sets off the press again. Romero plays around it, but they're all in. You can see Austria, exactly what Ralf Rangnick wants from his team. He wants to press in numbers, but the danger of that is when you're playing against a good team, they're able to play through the press. This time into Messi again, 5 players around 2 of the Argentinian players, and they get out, and then Martinez, this is the penalty decision, but you can see early on that what's had the trend of the game where Austria are trying to press and swarm Argentina, but they're managing to get out of it.
Fascinating. It's the point that you were making before the game as well, Danny, and so far the execution's been perfect.
Well, it's been, he's right, it has been a good press, and they've really tried to, they haven't done it every time, but when they've done it, they've gone with intent, and when Argentina have played through it on the occasions we just saw there, they've got big open space there to try and go after, get in behind the Austrian back four, and obviously they'll feel like they should have done better with obviously a penalty, and then the one where they're a little bit offside, but that will keep happening, especially as the game goes on, because pressing with that intensity causes fatigue, and the spaces open up as games go on. We've seen it many, many times.
Really intriguing. And it's the Ralph Rangnick trademark. 42 years of coaching now for the 67-year-old. Helped with the group, of course, in the last 16 the Euros. They eventually lost narrowly that night in Leipzig to Turkey. He's actually a free agent now. He's left Real Madrid. 17 appearances in the end this season for them. Summits. That's a Lima. Maguire's header. To the pressure of Gregoritsch. But forced the error. There's Lima. Arrow went to ground, and Austria going to have a corner.
It's good play, patient. Kept the ball well. They're well organised. As I said, they've got some experienced players, a good coach, decent shape when they're out of position, out of possession.
Corner number 2 then. Should be cleared. So Saival. Got it back now with Tosh. Vanna. Vanna. Austrian throw. One more minute. Chance to deal with that situation.
They do lack that ability to get runners in behind without Alvarez. Obviously Martinez isn't the quickest, and Messi's not going to run behind anymore, so there's only really Almada who's got that bit of pace. I'm sure we will see Alvarez later in the game.
nursing his ankle injury. Julian Alvarez. Key figure 4 years ago with 4 goals in 7 appearances. McAllister into Martins. Messi takes over. Right to the first challenge. Senegal was able to get the crucial foot in.
It was another nearly moment for Messi, wasn't it? Great feat with avoiding the first tackle, and then it needed a second once again.
Almada. Oh, Messi's touch. Well, Remco started. Messi on the floor. Blocked by Danza.
Touch was sublime. Comes into me at once, so he's already seen the picture. There you go. And when it comes back to him, you expect him to score, don't you? It's a decent block, but a man of his quality, you'd think he's just going to find the corner. Actually, he was being tackled from behind, wasn't he, by Seawald? Seawald, sorry.
Space for Martinez. Gomez bursting into the penalty area, but guess what? He was trying to find Messi. Rodrigo the ball again. Maybe on the right hand side. Almada. So that's a go. Big difference from the squad of 4 years ago. Situations like this, they haven't got Angel Di Maria. Someone in a blink of an eye who might be able to unlock a very well organised defence.
Yeah, it's a good point. Wonderful player with great pace, penetrative skills. They would hope to see that type of play a little bit maybe from Almada, but not to that level. They have to be a bit more patient, keep probing, wait for those openings. They have had the better of the chances in the first half. Messi's been in a few times and obviously missed the penalty, so I don't think the manager will be disappointed. They're controlling the game for large parts.
Martinez with a header. Lemina is penalised. Tosh. Austria only actually lost one of their last 12 internationals. They've got 9 in that period as well. Only Romania have beaten them in that time in a World Cup qualifier. It's away by Romero. Ruben de Paul in ahead of Lionel. Early ball to Lautaro Martinez, who's all alone at the moment, up against Danzo. And Fernandez. In the penalty area. McAllister. Redrich is still grounded. Tula to the height. Reminder of Tula.
Here's the challenge, yeah, just catches him with his left elbow a little bit on the back of the head. Not sure it warrants him being down that long.
Yeah, coming at those two. Romero wants the free kick, which he isn't getting.
Here they go. He loves it, doesn't he, Romero? Super player though. Doesn't need the ill discipline that comes to him sometimes because he's got all the attributes he needs.
Who signed 2 centre-backs since end of last season. Well, of course, his teammate in this squad. Great call-up for Marcus Senesi. This was chapter 2. Messi. Almada took 2 to his left. Cross Medina a little wide. Oh, it's beautifully left. And there it is. Yet another immortal Messi moment. The all-time record World Cup goal scorer. Strike number 70 on the biggest stage. He's out on his own. And it's his 4th goal of this tournament already. History for Messi. The lead for Argentina. And you can see just what it means to him.
That's a brilliant goal. Great move. And it was just a matter of time, wasn't it? He keeps getting in these great areas, in that free roll that he's got. And when it's pulled back to him this time, for him, that's an easy finish. Strokes it into the far corner. Only surprises that he hasn't already scored from a couple of opportunities out previous, but he keeps getting in these threads. His intelligence, football intelligence, is off the charts. He just finds space. Timing's great. It's a brilliant finish. Nice turnaround for Messi.
17 World Cup goals in 28 games. He's also just the 3rd ever player to score in 6 consecutive World Cup games. 2 days before his 39th birthday. And Argentina are upset with that challenge from Tosh. It's a yellow card. The first of the game.
off, wasn't it? Catches him just in the face there with his shoulder. Leaving yourself wide open. Just on that ball, was a super pullback as well from Medina.
And you're right, the romantic side of you, that is a fitting way to create history, not for the penalty.
Now, do you know what? He might have missed it on purpose.
Come on. There you go, soften your words, but that's taking it a little bit too far.
Yeah, it was a joke. It was a joke.
Either way, for all those lucky enough to be in this stadium, ourselves included, that was an I was there moment.
Yeah, I had to restrain myself because I was so excited.
Teacher of joy when you're excited.
Yes, I am, yes. So I've been told. Why I hadn't picked, I had to take the mic away. That was, honestly, football does that to you sometimes.
Special moment from an extremely special player.
Here's the finish. Just uses the pace on the pullback, guides it.
121 goals for Argentina in 201 games. The present notice. Martinez away. Still challenge on Messi. And Danzo.
Not much in it.
Catch that. And he was always struggling to get to that. Austria free kick.
Yeah, right decision. Just keeps over the Mayoga.
In from Alaba. That was rather disappointing.
Just lacking a little bit of quality, a bit of creativity. Only really Vanna of that front four has had a few moments where you think, he's got something about him. The rest just lacking a little bit.
Sabitz has won it back. Gregorich quickly into Schmidt now for Austria.
Sure, I'm alright, Steve. Sorry, when he scored, I know I whacked you there. Sorry.
You did. It's that type of night. Actually, we've got that type of relationship.
We have, yeah. You probably didn't feel it with those guns.
7 added at the end of this first half. And a long delay before the awarding of the Argentinian penalty. Cautious cross. Saved by Molina. Savic. Schlager has done well. Mara's clearance.
It's a good run, wasn't it, from Schlager? Just a poor cross at the end. That's had a little bit of quality when they have got themselves in a good position. They just can't produce that little bit of quality. Laimer's not happy. Let's have a look at the replay. He does give him a little kick, you know. So he's moaning about getting a little kick out.
Short from Savic. It's the Dortmund man again into Laimer. So beaten to it.
I'm not sure why Savic played that short. I think it's probably because his last couple have been really poor and he didn't want to hit another bad one, so he played it safe. Ended up getting it, not even getting the ball in the box really, of any quality.
It's provided them with all those fans playing to steal the ball. Argentina have scored first in their last 9 World Cup games, and Messi has got 7 of those 9 goals. Historic one today here in Dallas. Savic trying to switch play towards Posh. The ball. Martinez.
They won't mind this, Argentina, just to get to half time. They've got the lead. Just take a little breather.
Awful lot of football together as well. I mentioned 10 of the starting 11 won the World Cup 4 years ago. A great understanding.
Yeah, belief. Once you've done something together and won, belief grows. Trust in each other, all those things, they matter.
Just for Messi winning a throw-in. It's that kind of day. minutes of stoppage time remaining in the first half. Austria have only had a couple of attempts. On target. To hold us in front. And the moment all the Argentina fans came to see eventually happened. The history maker Lionel Messi with his 17th World Cup goal to go one clear of Miroslav Klose. That is the difference. Yet again, you cannot keep him out of the headlines. And that, remember, after he put an early penalty off target as well. And the break here in Dallas, Argentina 1. Austria 0.
Well, we had a suspicion it might become the Messi show tonight, and it certainly has lived up to expectations. His 121st goal in his 201st appearance for Argentina. And it was a fascinating first half, actually, tactically. But the story, it was kind of written in the stars, wasn't it, Ashley, that it would be Messi's night to take that record.
Yeah, and for a little while you thought it would be for the wrong reasons after the penalty, but he's gathered himself, and we expected him to do that, and he's had a lot of touches, a lot of good moments, got his goal, broke the record. Yeah, as we said before, it's going to be about Messi, and it seems to be at the minute all about Messi.
Could have scored a hat-trick.
Yeah, a few more
Good
chances.
chance if he shoots first intention and plus a penalty.
And he might need those goals because Mbappe's going to be hot on his heels, isn't he? And a little bit younger,
He will.
so he'll be ruining any missed chances. I mean, you could see in so many ways tonight how that team plays for him and how he conserves his energy. He doesn't need to run as much, to sprint as much, Cesar.
Yeah, he was in the right position. I think he created a few chances. He was arriving in the box. You could see how he was finding the right space with the ambition to score goals. And we've seen a good Messi despite his penalty miss.
Yeah, it was a great goal, wasn't it? And Danny, I think, facetiously said he missed the penalty on purpose so he could score a goal like this to be the record.
Yeah, but finally he's human, you know. He missed penalty, and but the most important that is he just step up, just leave it behind him, and was at the right place at the right time. And thanks to Almada, there, okay, it's like an assist from him. I don't know if we could see if he yell at him like leave the ball, leave it. Sometimes you have the time to tell your teammates. I don't know. Maybe he took the information.
He's aware.
He's aware.
His
Yeah.
head, he knows something.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. He took a look.
Yeah. So
Could have seen. He scanned it before. So, well, assist credit for Almada, and Messi never missed that.
Almada does incredibly well there as well, doesn't he, actually? But, you know, to let it go.
Yeah, and it's tempting to, you know, what we said before the game, that his team are playing for him. I don't think that was the case in that situation. I just think that he understood that whoever it was this time, being Messi, was in a better position to score the goal. But yeah, here we can see the goal scored. Incredible, just the numbers that you said before. And what's really impressive, we was watching him off the ball, and he just walks and walks, and he conserves his energy. But what's really impressive is how bright he is. As soon as Argentina win it, he gets himself off the defender and in a position where he can receive it.
That is his 6th World Cup game in a row that he's scored, which is also a record. There's another record coming up which he might not want, which comes off the back of the missed penalty, actually. So, shall we have a look at the incident? You said he's human after all, but let's look at the incident first, because there's been a disagreement between you guys as to whether or not this was...
and myself. Defender, striker point of view. Yeah. I think that's not the best touch, first touch from Lautaro to start. But yeah, I've seen from the beginning that the number 5 touch is stepping foot, a push. And I think that's why, the review on the VAR.
Is this a clear and obvious mistake from the referee?
Yeah, but, nowadays...
The question why VAR comes in.
Nowadays, like, a small contact is enough. And I think, as long as, when he's been called by the VAR to review the...
You're not denying the contact, you just don't think it was clear and obvious enough.
Yeah, I've seen two contacts from Porsche and the other defender who I think he gets the foot from Lautaro, but I think the referee might see the contact, but not enough to be a penalty, so I don't know. Those VAR calls are tough to predict.
I'm just sitting there enjoying the argument when it was happening. I don't have
training between us.
I can see both points of view, but I do think that Poch touches Lautaro.
That's clear. That's clear.
There is contact. Okay, let's have a look at the penalty there, because he was very, as he always is with his penalty taking, very, very relaxed. But Cesar, you spotted the goalkeeper Schlegel giving him a little bit of... There you go.
He's trained. Well, each one they play their part to try to set the penalty. So he was feeling confident, and he stood on his ground.
Emiliano Martinez is so good at penalty because he's playing the drama before the penalty, playing with the striker, trying to get in his head. And that's what he tried to do, maybe,
Well, we've seen the goalkeeper even had a little, it looks like a little tiny in his heel, that if he's made the save, with the red card.
He has scored, he's taken more penalties than anybody else in the World Cup. He's missed more as well, because he's now missed 3 out of the 7 he's taken. This is obviously not in shootouts, Ashley. So it's, we're clutching it, so it's a tiny weakness.
I was thinking to get him off penalties. He's got to get off penalties. He's no good at them. He's not very good at penalties.
Who's going to do that to Leo Messi?
Well, if they get another one in the second half, I guarantee he takes it again.
Yeah, absolutely. And it didn't obviously put him out of his stride, did it? Because there were more opportunities for him. You said he could have had a hat-trick. There were more opportunities for him within that game as well.
Yeah, he's been in every single good movement for his team. Look at him coming a bit deeper. And then I think Lautaro's pass is so nice. And could have finished first intention, right now, Aspi? What do you think?
I think so. For me, as soon as he makes the pass, he keeps running.
He's on his left foot.
He keeps running.
I think,
No.
He's on his left foot.
And that was weak though.
It could have been a own goal though.
He looks like he's been in every action of Argentina.
Yes.
Offensive actions, he was always involved. Even now that looks he's far away from the action, but still he gets
Which
the right
begs the question, how do you stop him? What do Austria do in the second half to try and nullify his threat, if everything is going through?
They need the N'Golo Kante. In 2018, we put N'Golo Kante and Messi, and
he did the job.
Brilliant. Yeah, he gave him a hard time.
You said it, everything going through, and that's the touch man, actually.
Yeah, and it's just the patience that he shows, which makes it really, as a defender, sometimes it's easier to play against a striker that's always backing into you, always against you. But when he drops deep, like we've just seen on his touch mat there, it's so difficult because you want to pass him onto your midfielder doesn't really want to deal with it. So that little bit of hesitation, they're just playing for an Argentina have done really well through the middle and sometimes exposing Austria out wide. But when they go through the middle, it's so fast and snappy that a few seconds of hesitation they get through.
And his first touch is so good that it's so hard to get the ball back.
Well, we have seen also that Argentina, when they didn't have the width, they were a lot. Rodrigo de Paul was in the middle, Armada was in the middle, so they were not space enough for everybody, and we could see in the goal how Medina got the width. So from the middle, they opened the space, and then they came back to the middle, and it was in a very good scoring position.
Okay, well, you can probably tell I'm enjoying this, right? If you want more Messi, you can check out this documentary on iPlayer.
That obsession lives and breathes inside of it. It made impossible feel like it was possible.
Messi versus Ronaldo.
They wanted to be better than each other. They have shaped an era of football just by being very honest. I really got normal to be on this level all these years.
And next up, Mbappe, who could also break the World Cup scoring record. He has an absolutely fabulous game tonight. France are up against Iraq, and that's live on BBC One iPlayer. Stay on for that one, of course, as well, Olivia, from 9:30. In the early hours, Norway against Senegal and Jordan, Algeria are both available on BBC Sounds. On Wednesday, Scotland attempt to reach the knockouts for the first time when they take on five-time winners Brazil in Miami. But before that, England's second group game against Ghana is live on BBC One and iPlayer from 8 o'clock.
Thomas Tuchel's England have got off to a winning start. I believe that everybody feels the way I do about you now.
Okay, we're going to discuss England and Scotland towards the end of the programme, but it's all going well for number 10 in Dallas, not going quite so well at number 10 in London. There's a BBC News special straight after the football. Here's Sophie Rayworth, who's in Downing Street.
Yes, the Prime Minister resigned this morning in what was at time a highly emotional speech. So, who will replace him here in Downing Street? Well, this was the welcome for Andy Burnham from Labour MPs when he arrived in Westminster just a few hours later. What happens now? Join me for a BBC News special at 8:30 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Now, with so much of this tournament happening after midnight, you might be forgiven for missing some of the early hours action and joy. So with that in mind, let's remind you what happened when debutants and second smallest nation in the tournament, Cape Verde, took on the inaugural winners of the World Cup, Uruguay, overnight.
Well, Montero all over it. Oh my God, there's another just a ride there. It's absolutely incredible from Kevin Pina. A goal from the gods for Cape Verde, who lead the two-time World Cup winners Uruguay in the most spectacular style. Yes, Araujo, Pinocchio, all waiting in the middle. Now he's taken away from him in Israel. And the diving header is in. And Araujo saves Uruguay as he did against the Saudis. And they are back on level terms before the interval. Entertaining first half here in Miami. Ugarte's cross, chance, goal! They've turned it round. Pinocchio justifies his inclusion. A lot like cushion here. That it's a wonderful goal from Uruguay. It's not the ideal ball back, and now Israel is in trouble. Cape Verde on third level again. Within about a minute of coming on, Helio Varela sends every single Cape Verdean wild. 2-2 in Miami. Quite incredible.
Joy for Cape Verde then, who now have a really good chance of going through. They face Saudi Arabia in their final group game on Friday. And have a look at this clip from BBC News last night as they spoke to a Cape Verde fan during the game.
What's your appraisal of the way the Cape Verdean team has been playing so far? I personally think so far Cabo Verde has been playing great. It's been matching Uruguay's pressure.
How can you not love the World Cup? It's just been brilliant, hasn't it? Seeing such a tiny nation produce football that has given them a chance. So I know holding Spain obviously was probably go down as one of the great things that has ever happened in Cape Verde football. So for you, not so much fun, but for them, I mean, who can forgive them having that joy?
Spain couldn't win, huh?
Yeah, but massive two results from Cape Verde there, just drawing against Spain. And then yesterday scoring two goals, which is amazing. Even the mental strength that maybe you don't expect. They were 2-1 down just before halftime and then to score.
Population of 150,000. I'm just thinking ahead to the task that Scotland have got in hand against Brazil, you know, and actually, you've just got to believe, haven't you, going into a game like that? They must have done the same going into a game against Spain, that, you know, what can we get from this?
Well, at the end of the day, it comes down to 11 players against 11 players. It doesn't matter how big the country is. So for them, they did. What was so impressive was they did so much defending against Spain without the ball. In this game against Uruguay, they actually matched them and played. They was a bit more expansive. It definitely was worth a draw. So that has been one of the success stories, early success stories of the World Cup.
I guess with that in mind, Austria is a nation, of course, with a much richer heritage of football and being on the world stage, although it is not since 1998 that they've been here. How can they stop the behemoth that is Messi adding to his tally in the second half?
Yes, Messi is now #1 as top scorer in a World Cup. I think he can feel Mbappe is coming behind him anyway. As we said, like Mbappe's got at least 1 or 2 World Cup to play. So I think, yeah, I'm happy for him, and I still think he's gonna score some more goals today. But yeah, I believe Austria has been a bit timid, you know. When they succeed to get the ball back in the half with their pressing, they did not create proper chances. So I'm expecting like more from Austria at second half.
Okay, well, let's see the clear light. Let's rejoin the action in Dallas with Danny and Steve for the second half.
Thank you, Gabby. The second half of the Messi show. Remember, if you're watching any of the World Cup matches live with us, or you're enjoying the highlights of every game on BBC iPlayer, don't forget you do need a TV license, and you can scan the QR code now on your screen to buy. We've seen some stories in this World Cup so far. Austria coming back to win this would be one of them. They've only come back having trailed at half-time once ever in a World Cup match back in 1978. It is the team who've been away from the World Cup for 28 years who get the second half underway. No changes from either manager. We have to see a risk or two more taken from the Austrians here, Danny.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that bit of bravery, a bit more quality as well, because they've had chances to put some balls in the box. The set plays have been awful. Final ball, final cross, been really poor.
It's a Schmidt into Schlager. Much better through the end now, Messi. Brilliant use of the body. Scuffed effort from Savitzer and cleared by Molina.
Not the best setup there for Savitzer. Just needed to roll it a bit slower so he could come onto it more comfortably. Right start though.
Argentina only have lost 3 World Cup games in their history. They have scored the first goal. Austria will have to change that. Savitzer. That's the only cross into the penalty. That's the first time we've mentioned it Martinez, isn't it?
A bit redundant, hasn't he, really?
Medina's throw. Schlager. He's announced he's leaving Leipzig at the end of the season. Here's Messi. Caught by Schlager.
silly tackle, wasn't it? Sabitzer just steps on Romero there just a couple of seconds before that one. Worryingly for him, he's only had his knee. Contact was on his foot.
Goal 7 games 4 years ago. Romero changing back on his feet. As the ref comes clear of the historic goal. McAllister. Fernandez. Zaman. Early from Molina. Can the ball get there? Isha. Taken by Alaba. Came off Messi last. Dispossessed. Balotelli to Messi. It's Messi again.
He did look a yard or two off. Great recovery though.
Simon didn't know that. Push.
Martinez, they'll get back in, nicking the ball, pressing. That's what gave them the opportunity.
Lima. Martinez. Into that. McAllister. Medina. He's the only member of the starting 11 on the left back who hasn't won a World Cup. He's the 11th cap today. Messi shouted through the middle. Argentina free kick.
Beautiful run, great close control. Seen him do that for so many years. Those little give and goes in small spaces, and somehow he keeps that ball stuck to his foot.
Shark of the defender. This thing, that nation, reached the final of 2 of the last 3 World Cups. As it stands, they'll go through to the round of 32, Argentina, and later today, if Nigeria fail to beat Jordan, they'd be confirmed group winners. Sadly, that will be a tie in Miami. Messi's latest homer, of course. Austria free kick.
Silly tackle. I think he might still be struggling with his knee now. He's holding it at the moment, Romero. He goes diving in, flying in, and when he turns him, he's got to bring him down because he's in otherwise. Just a bit rash.
So the 20-year-old Vanna Sabitzer. The 2 players behind this for Austria.
Well, he's due a goal.
Sabitzer on his 100th appearance for Austria. And he forces a save by Martinez. Certainly what you would have expected him to make.
Yeah, absolutely. At least he gets it on target, forces a save, but yeah. Difficult score that from that far out on that angle.
Long throw from Tosh, that was flicked on. Cleared by Martinez. Drawn in San Francisco. It was Austria's biggest in the World Cup since 1954. It's the game they knew they had to win. Here's Schmidt. For the full touch.
Yeah, that's the quality, that's the lack of quality I've been talking about. All their play up until that point was pretty good. Getting through the line as well, get to that final third, and then a little bit of creativity. Who's going to be the one who can defend for him? Somebody's got to go in and really got to use it.
I don't suspect Nicolas Otamendi, that roar that you just heard wasn't for him. It was for Shakir. He was out of his seat. Do you like about Romero?
Not one of my musical favourites. Don't make assumptions.
No chances taken with the Tottenham defender.
Yeah, it looks like he's struggling.
So Otamendi is on for his 134th cap. He's just left Europe and Benfica, and he's returning to River Plate. The 38-year-old. He played in 3 minutes every game 4 years ago. Twice Premier League winner with Manchester City. And the reports would suggest are getting closer to announcing Enzo Maresca today as the new manager. Schmidt wanted the free kick. Austria throw, keen to take it quickly. Andy's intervention.
Schmidt again that time, it was another throw ball in a good position.
Here it is again. Downs. Schmidt, touch trying for push, the final ball.
Yeah. I think there'll be some changes soon. Got to try and do something to get back into it, Austria. They're not opening Argentina up at all.
Argentina have conceded 1 goal in their last 8 internationals. Forward for Sabitzer. McAllister.
It's good.
For Tall now. Enzo Fernandez with the effort.
Brilliant move.
Took the wind out of Danzo's sails getting away with that.
Yeah, it was a great block. It was a brilliant move. So many people involved, and then it opens up for Fernandez. Looks like he hit him in the shoulder to me.
Julian Alvarez. Nico Gonzalez. Alvarez. And Lino Scaloni. Just past the hour mark. Molina. Danzo is still off, incidentally. Temporarily down to 10 here, Austria. Medina. To Paul. Nice drop in a little deeper. McAllister. Nice. In from De Paul. An excellent block. Bridge felt it. Danzo is back on. And Argentina will make the double change. Wilder is the First to depart. To allow Alvarez to come on. Hugely popular figure. Alvarez with Taro Martinez. It's available for Atletico's Nico Gonzalez. He was hoping to maybe ease back in. He missed the last 7 games of the La Liga season.
Worked really hard, Martinez, gone from.
Fernandez. Messi. Argentina convinced this shot with a touchdown.
They can change it now, gets well done.
Still 1-0. Austria. Hope. Believe that one chance is going to drop their way. McAllister's interception. Sabitzer. Argentina actually haven't opened up with 2 wins in over the last 2 tournaments. Sabitzer. It'll be a cross in. Struggling over the header.
Arguably the best moment of the ball in from Sabitzer. Gregoritsch could have done better, I think. He gets himself up there. No, just does enough. I think it's Medina, just does enough for the back post.
Triple change for Austria. Friedel, Pras, and most significantly of all, Marko Arnautovic. He takes the captain's armband. Record appearance maker, record scorer, 37 now. Austria's oldest ever player at a World Cup. Alba, Posh and Vanna today are the twins to go off. One shot on target so far for the Austrians in the game. We're calling for change. We'll see how these 3 work.
Yeah, he had to do something, and Arnautovic is an obvious one because we know he's got super talent at moments in him.
Scored from the penalty spot against Jordan. His 38th international goal. set the pass. Penetration break upon us. Late on Sky. Sterling has the 1-goal advantage from Messi in the first half. Remember, he is now the World Cup's all-time record goal scorer. Mbappe, though, he's on 14. You can watch him and France tonight take on Iraq from 9:30 on BBC One. Remember, England's second group game live for you on Tuesday. And from 8 o'clock against Ghana, and Scotland's attempts to reach the knockout stages for the first time. And a big night against Brazil, live on Wednesday from 10 o'clock. Now the QR code, and now you can scan that to have your say with BBC Sports Player Rater. You can let us know who is standing out for you in this one. Aside from the obvious headline maker, as we look at that historic goal again, what are you thinking?
Well, it's hard to look past the main man, isn't it? I think Paul's done all right again, linking it up well, put himself about. Both the fullbacks have gone forward well enough, more so in the first half. Medina's done well on that left-hand side, but still giving them the water right now. I'm afraid it would only be going one way.
Obvious headline maker. This is Austria's only shot on target so far.
Yeah, and it's a cross shot, isn't it? It's never troubling a keeper of that quality. As I said to him before, at least he's given Arnautovic a good chance to make an impression on this game with his strength and his skill. Whether he can then get him enough of the ball, we'll have to wait and see.
So still the advantage is Argentina's. They've lost just twice in their last 17 World Cup appearances. Having said that, his goal is Argentina's last attempt on goal.
Yeah, they've not really gone for it second half. More comfortable keeping possession and not trying to be as progressive. Now Alvarez is on, we might see that change a little bit.
Dan's under pressure, good pressure. Argentina throw. Interception. Argentina corner. That is their first of the game after 72 minutes. Headline maker is going to take it. Oh, he took it well, but it was a lovely invitation for the substitute Gonzalez.
Timed it from beautifully. Free, nobody near him, should do better really.
Would have been a nice moment for him. He, remember, was the man injured 3 days before the tournament 4 years ago. Missed out. The World Cup success.
Yeah, know how it feels, happened to myself.
Just trying not to go there. At least England didn't win it.
At least he's got the opportunity to be involved in one. And he had a great opportunity there. Wouldn't be easy to get his head on that. There was nobody near him, nobody trying to run.
I didn't even have the most famous metatarsal either, did you?
No. It was I think Ben Tampering who did theirs, actually. I'm pretty sure when he did his as well.
Before the Euros.
Yeah.
Field. Werder Bremen. Can't find an Artovich. Lima. It's not too much of Schmidt. Gonzalez keeps it in. And a foul on Fernandez.
I know he's made the most of it, but the midfielder going in there, Schalke, he's got to be cute, he's got to be clever. Don't put your hands on him, don't give him an opportunity. This is the header. He didn't get enough on it, did he? I'll be disappointed with that, but he has just come on a sub, so good enough.
There's Lima on Gonzalez. Getting involved. There's a yellow card there for Medina and for Lima. Egyptian referee right in the middle of it.
Did well. Straight in there, sorted it out. Gives the foul for the push. And there's a little bit afters. Yeah.
Crowd of over 70,000. Full house in this magnificent arena, which cost $1.2 billion to build and assemble. As I said earlier, 9 games. This is the third of them. They go all the way through. There's a semi-final to be played in this stadium as well. Danza. Danza asking for an option. Fernandez in the way. Alvarez. Fourth throw. It's going to be another Austrian change. Patrick Wimmer. Wolfsburg. It's coming on well. I say Wolfsburg. He's just been released by Wolfsburg. He's replacing Schmidt. That's his first touch, Wimmer. Looking for Lima on the overlap. But safely by Martinez.
Good run by Lima. Xavi's just stretching for it, and again the quality of the ball wasn't great. I think Martinez had a little clash with Anarovic. A very, very, very slight touch on the head.
Picking the defence and goalkeeper. 4 consecutive clean sheets coming into this one. As you say, 1 goal conceded in the last 8. Brilliantly backed, as usual.
Yeah, they've been outstanding again. Not that they've had much to sing about really in the second half. It's been quite flat, but they stayed behind and done it no matter what. Incredible supporters.
Messi on Austria. Now to Gonzalez. He's trying to return the favour.
Yeah, there was only really Alvarez in there for him to hit, so he tried to pull it back, but they got his back quickly. Nice little bit of skill, wasn't it, from Messi in the middle of the pitch again. He's the one that brings those moments, those highlights. Get everyone off their seat.
Gregoritsch. Suddenly they might have run over him in Austria. They needed Medina's intervention.
He's been good, Medina. Both ways, offensively, defensively, he's quick. Really nice footballer. Did great covering there. I think there would have been an offside anyway, but Gregoritsch tried to slip him in, but look, just gets himself back. Understandably a bit cramped.
Rodrigo de Paul is replaced by Paredes, the captain of Boca Juniors. Medina on that yellow card. The Parts as well. Nicolas Tagliafico, now playing for Lyon. He's on for his 77th cap. Savitz's corner. Defended by Gonzalez. Martinez. Does the best. Shelby on the ball there.
Yeah, does well. They're not managing to get that ball into Anarovic's feet at all. That's what they should be looking to try and do.
Lima with Gonzalez. He's told to get back on his feet. Ball kick to Austria. Austria have 1 more permitted change, and Ralf Rangnick is going to make it imminently. Kai Chukwuemeka, the former Chelsea player, is going to come on. Gonzalez's ball. McAllister. Lima of Bayern Munich. Fried.
The other thing, they've got Gregory standing up there against Martinez. He's much, much bigger than him. Maybe it's some diagonals up to him or up to his chest and get an out of pitch round him. Do something different. Keep trying to play the way through and he's not getting them anywhere.
Time is ticking away from them.
Yeah.
6 minutes of the 90 to go here in Dallas. Flicked on by Vimmer. It was Gregory.
It's just strange to see with 5 minutes to go, you've got a keeper playing triangles with his defenders and his midfielders, and they end up down in the right back position. Argentina can push right up, win the header then when they play it long, nearly in the opposition half, rather than they're on the 18-yard box just outside, 30 seconds ago, didn't play the diagonals.
Gregory is off. Chukwuemeka is on. He actually won the Euros with England under 19s. Dortmund, of course.
He's a talented player, he's just struggled with injuries a lot, hasn't he?
Scored in injury time in the last 4 World Cup matches. Taking the pizza here with Portugal. Fantastic ball from Gonzalez to seal it. Brilliant block from Danza. And he had to find a shot turned down as well. Chukwuemeka's first touch. Lofted it towards an Altovich, away from Martinez. The rest of us look here again there. Here's Leimer. Vimmer. Seivelt. Schlager. His clearance.
It was a brilliant pass from Martinez in behind for Gonzalez to run onto. He decided not to hit it and then cut it back and lost the chance. Great block from Danza, but what a pass.
Press. Chukwuemeka.
This was a pass, I think it was Martinez, not Tagliafico, but this it's a brilliant tackle from Danza. Recovers really well, keeps his eye on it.
Fried. Good possession by Messi. Fernandes. Away by Messi. To an Altovich. Can reach Sabitzer. Vimmer in the end.
Yeah, it was nice and strong there, Vimmer. Protected the ball well for his team.
Chukwuemeka. Savitz's cross, no problem whatsoever.
To be honest, even if it was a good cross, there was only an Anatovich in there. The lack of urgency and desire to try and get men. I know they're tired, I get that, but you 1-0 down, you've got to try and do something different to get back in the game. Commit some men forward, put one of the defenders up high, squeeze up, press.
Messi has found Alvarez. Fernandes. Paredes. Final minutes of the 90. And as it stands, if Jordan failed to beat Nigeria later, Argentina will be Group J winners. They will play the runners-up of Group H in Miami. Tagliafico. Suarez corner. 5 minutes to go.
They've managed to get it fairly comfortably, haven't they? They've not really had any problems. I think Austria are really disappointed with what they've produced in the final third, because they've got better quality than that.
Messi's free kick. Chukwuemeka onto the second ball. Egyptian referee says play on. Paredes with the foul. And the yellow card for the substitute.
Yeah, just caught them a little bit late.
All four finished there. Savitz's delivery. To Mendy. Handball is the verdict. Extra time, there's frustration.
He's a stern chap, isn't he? This Egyptian referee takes no messing around.
So another Austrian free kick. Interesting this. That's a runner header. Filler in the end. There was a glimmer of an opportunity.
It's a decent chance. He wins it well down to the back post, gets it in the middle. Yeah, can't quite direct it. Not easy for Villalba. Half a chance. They haven't had many.
So win it back for Austria. Alexander Price. Sabitzer. Chukwuemeka. Goes to the return when Nicholas thought he wouldn't. Savitz's ball taken down by Messi. Alvarez Argentina.
He just finds a way. It's a great counter, great breakaway. Perfect ball. Can he spot Alvarez? Can he get it to him? Of course he can. It's a beautiful pass. You expect Alvarez to score. Good save from the keeper. Ramos gets it to Messi. He's still got plenty to do. Eventually he just keeps going. Smashes it in the bottom corner. Gets a tiny bit of luck there, but still. Great determination from him. Energy to get there on the follow-up. Unbelievable.
His 18th goal. Too clear. But Miroslav Klose in World Cup history. His 122nd for his country. He's 39 in 2 days. Already has 5 goals in this World Cup.
It's not time for another one.
Absolutely not. There he goes. And he was fouled. Wave of excitement goes around this stadium again.
He's got to find the energy to take it. Go on. Please.
One fact over here. 4th time he scored 2 or more in a World Cup match, including each of the last 3, by the way.
It's a long way out, this one.
It's a long way out, but this is Lionel Messi.
Yes, it is.
Here he comes. Turbo swing. Getting back-to-back hat-tricks would be brilliant. But just listen to the roar. It's another Messi headline show. But this was the day of history. This was when he turned up to score his 118th World Cup goals to go 2 clear of Miroslav Klose. And yet again, send the holders to victory. And remember, he had the audacity to miss a penalty in the first 10 minutes as well. Messi's headlines, Messi's history. Argentina 2, Austria 0.
Well, you can't blame Sabitzer for trying to get Messi's shirt there, actually, can you? Because that tonight is, well, it's history. We've just witnessed Lionel Messi, not just once, but twice scoring to edge further away in the competition as the world-class top goal scorer.
Yeah, incredible. I think obviously coming into the game, we was looking at Messi and what is he going to do after the hat-trick the other day. Then he goes on and misses a penalty, which we couldn't believe, but he still gets his 2 goals. And this game was all about him. You could tell in the last goal that it's Paredes who just passing the ball. Normally he would shoot, but they are literally playing for Messi because in effect that helps them all win a World Cup again. But no, he's been brilliant. It's an honour to just watch history being made.
Absolutely, an incredible night for Messi, for Argentina, and Olivier, he's 39 on Wednesday. And it's remarkable that we're still able to enjoy him doing what he does on this stage.
Yeah, I think we're going to see it later, but how many goals did he score since he's 35 years old? Yeah, you have to say that with age he's getting better and better. 5 goals for Argentina in 2 games, only scorer. I'm impressed because he's always at the right place at the right time. As you said, more like a finisher. He's in the middle also to create, to dictate the game. He's walking, huh? We were watching him like walking in Fontaine doing He recovered the ball. He recovered the
He did
ball.
lose it against you.
But you know, at the end of the day, he scored brace, and yeah.
There's an emotion on his face, says Arno. He knows this is that moment where you're immortalised on that list, aren't you? And, you know, you're the GOAT. You know that. The world respects you as the greatest footballer who's playing the game, but that is, even for him, an extraordinary moment.
Yeah, very memorable moment. Just breaking the record. Even in the second half, you could see him just dropping a little bit more, trying to link up the play and then get the ball forward and trying to create opportunities. So for him, scoring two goals coming from a hat trick, I think it's a pretty impressive start at the World Cup.
I think he was frustrated on the penalty miss, and you can see in the celebration after his first goal that.
Guide. All channels. 1. BBC One Unruly. M. Look North. MOTD Line. France v Iraq. Audio description. 2132030. 1. BBC One Unruly. Synopsis. Live coverage of France as second game in Group I against Iraq in Philadelphia. After reaching the last two finals.
Very beginning of this international career.
Yeah, and I think that leads into the point that we've made all evening is now he's playing more for goals, whereas before, you know, at the start of his career he was coming in from wide, maybe trying to provide goals for other people, but he now knows that it's all on him, and I think his teammates unselfishly also know that the best chance they've got is for him to be playing good, feeling good, scoring goals. So you're seeing a lot of his goals now down the middle. He's expecting, you know, balls to just be rebounded in his games, tap-ins, or he's scoring really good goals. So he's scoring a different range of goals, but he's just on the scene. He's playing very patient. You can see that patience comes with experience. Olivier, you know, but as a striker, a lot of the time you're rushing to get in the box. You want to get across.
Volume 12. Volume 10.
we see Austria getting the ball in the final.
Volume 11. Volume 13.
The ball lands to him, but is in the right position, always looking forward. Julian here has a great chance. The keeper made a good save. And here, Paredes, as we mentioned, he could be shooting on goal, but Messi is close to him. And here, the rebound shows the ambition and the hunger he has to score goals. He goes strong. Yeah, he's coming from the right, then he goes back inside and gets in a position where he can score a goal. He could be standing out wide just after making the pass, and still he wants to get in the box and sniff the goal and get the second for him.
He's so aware of when he needs to run, when he needs to dribble, when he doesn't need to. That this is, conserving his energy, playing it exactly the right amount for him within this game. You see it all over, as you say, walking at times, but then the runs come and they're very rarely wasted.
He gets alive. It's like we've seen a few actions when defending, he's walking around the pitch, but even in the second goal, he's walking and he's in a position after the block from Paredes to come the ball straight to him.
Sorry, magnet man.
But that's why I think we spoke quite a few times about rest defense. When you're attacking, Austria were attacking, he was completely alone, and then they allowed him to turn, and we know how dangerous.
So you want to enjoy this one. You're on the graphic with Lionel Messi. This is most World Cup goals over the age of 35, and Olivier, you make it on there, just behind Roger Miller, Cameroon, of course. 4 and 5 for you two, now 12 for Messi. Which is remarkable out of his 18, and actually he's scored more World Cup goals after the age of 35, 12 in total, than Cristiano Ronaldo, Thierry Henry, Maradona, Rivaldo, Neymar and Harry Kane in their whole careers, never mind, kind of over the age of 35. It is, we talked about it ad nauseum at the beginning about how he's done this and how he's managed to actually kind of flourish almost more into the later years of his career in terms of his Argentina shirt and the World Cup stage. There is, obviously, this World Cup has got more over 40-year-olds and more late 30s players than ever before, but there is something to applaud there in the way he's managed himself.
Absolutely, yeah. When you get to that age, you've got to be doing the right things day in, day out. He must spend a lot of time on his body, and his physicality to be able to. Yes, he does walk around a lot. We've seen that, but just to go out and to perform at that level, for his touch to still be that good, for his awareness to still be that good, it's a credit to his career and his testament. And this is the second game in the World Cup, so they've got Jordan next.
Well, and also you've talked in this World Cup coverage about how playing in America you realised you needed and missed the intensity of European football, and he's playing his football obviously in the MLS, so he's not getting that level of kind of scrutiny and intensity that he could.
I think all through his career, he didn't put too much intensity apart when he was maybe, at the beginning at Barcelona, 17, 18, 19 years old, when he was more like a winger, But it's been a few years now, he's just like recovering when they don't have the ball, and then, he's doing his magic when the ball comes to him. So I think, he's not suffering physically, as you said, he's managing well. I think his healthy lifestyle. He has to, because otherwise you cannot stay playing that long. But yeah, he's unbelievable.
He's new situations. He moved from Barcelona to PSG, which was also very demanding. Then moved to Inter Miami, and even on the pitches.
And not a lot of injuries also. He's been lucky and physiologically blessed that he could carry on, just play games after games.
Let's have a little look at the rest of his games as of today, because actually everything, as you said, went through him. He's playing much more centrally as well.
Yeah, I don't remember many actions from Argentina that he was not involved. Even the ones that we could see was far away from it, he was always alive, kind of similar to the second goal. He keeps looking at the ball and wants to get forward. Here is just off the bounce from Lautaro, and he's getting into a shooting position, which can be very dangerous. You see now, look at striker here. Maybe he could run into the box, but he's waiting for the ball, and the quality is
But
amazing.
Austria should have seen, I mean, Ralph rang me, that he should have seen that they played this ball through the lines, like very centrally, and it happened so many times. So maybe no pressure was not good enough on the ball, or maybe the line was not tight enough.
Speaking about the pressure from Austria, we could see when they got it right, they recovered balls, and when they didn't, the space was quite open, and they
When
could
you
receive
find yourself
good
in a
position.
mid-block, they should have closed more these inside balls,
71 touches, Ashley, tonight, Messi.
Yeah, so that just goes to show that he wasn't out of the game. So he's managing to find a balance between conserving energy, being in the right place at the right time, and then changing the tempo of the game when it's needed. You've seen in some of those clips we showed there. He's slow, and then he goes fast, and it's a quick 1-2, and it's very difficult to defend. I do agree with the lads that Austria could have done a better job in closing the gaps between the units, but it is very difficult to play against because he slows you down, he slows the tempo, and then it's on his terms when he decides to speed it up.
There's one thing that didn't go right for him tonight, and that was the penalty. We're just going to have a look at the miss. There was a little bit going on there, wasn't there, in terms of maybe
He tried to intimidate him. But I think he did well, the keeper, because he stayed on his feet until the end. And when he looked at him, he tried to put it like...
He put him off, do you think?
Yeah, I think the keeper did well, but it's
Didn't make any
Messi.
difference in the end, did it?
Should have scored. It's Messi.
That's his hat-trick, isn't it? That's his hat-trick.
Are we looking at the greatest player ever? Possible. I think that it's definitely worth the debate. We might have just witnessed the greatest player that football's ever seen.
Okay, well, seems like a good time to bring in Tim Vickery, who, of course, is our South American football expert, live in Rio de Janeiro. Tim, the record books have kind of fallen tonight, haven't they? He's scored in 6 consecutive goals for Argentina, which is in a World Cup, which is a record. He's moved himself 2 above Miroslav closer as well. The number of goals he scored over the age of 35. Give us a taste of kind of how this will be reflected around South America, particularly Argentina tonight.
Well, there's another one that he's broken tonight. He's become the first player to miss a penalty in 3 World Cups. And I think there's a huge lesson there. You've got to be prepared to miss them if you're going to score them. And so many strikers will say that they didn't score all of the goals that they should have done, but it's taking the responsibility, and you keep doing it, and in the end, it clocks up and up and up. For me, the moment of the game, and this encapsulates everything that we were talking about before kick-off, is the dummy or Almada leaving the ball, getting the shout from Messi, leaving the ball, and Messi arrives and strikes that in. The gods of football obviously didn't want him to break the record with a penalty. They wanted him to break the record with a goal from open play. And Almada leaving it for him, hearing the shout, realising Messi arriving is in a better position, just exemplifies another lesson of football. The team helps to make the stars. If Messi has scored all these goals after the age of 35 for Argentina, it's because at last they've managed to put him in a context that works. If you go back to 2010, for example, who's the top dog? There's a fight there going on between Tevez and Messi, and it's all very unclear. Over these last 2 World Cups, Messi has been right at the centre. I think it probably helped that he started a fight with Barcelona around the 2019 mark, and it was clear that Argentina had become his #1 priority. And Argentina have built that team around him. And I just don't want the carnival to end. This little man has been part of my life for 21.5 years. It's the standout moment in what I ludicrously call my career, seeing him as a 17-year-old in the South American under-20s at the start of 2005. And it was all there, as Maradona said of him. This little fella, he can dribble while watching TV, and he can change the channels. The ball is so much a part of him. But it's not just that. It was, even then, you could see the space. He knew which space he had to attack, the vulnerable space. He knew where to go. It was all there at 17. And to watch these 20
It's been a joy, hasn't it, Tim? It's been a joy tonight to just see that, to witness it. Thank you so much for sharing your reflections there. And we're just going to move on then, because in just over 24 hours, England will take on Ghana in Boston. Kelly Summers has more from inside the England camp, with the players enjoying life in Kansas City, Missouri.
Barbecue food, jazz heritage and passionate sporting culture. Home of KC current sporting KC the Chiefs and the Royals. And now, for the moment, the Three Lions, who've been soaking up the heart of America since their win over Croatia.
The best were the first games of the season.
I like country music. Last night Ella Langley was playing. I had cowboy hat on and cowboy boots and all sorts. Luckily there's no photos kicking them out. Steely came with us and Harry came with us. Are they big country music fans too? Harry is.
Wore a Dallas Cowboys jersey into Kansas the other day, and I was with my family and the guy said to me, you can't wear that around here.
Being with this younger group, being with this manager in America, like everything is just...
like a movie.
Yeah, it's special. It's really, really special.
Following downtime on Friday, it was back to business at the weekend, with the intensity of training under Thomas Tuchel clear to see.
It's normal, you know, it's an elite manager. He demands the highest of quality from his players, and we want to give the highest quality back as well, so it's very normal.
He's not afraid to shout at you. He's always demanding from you, making sure you're on it every day. I think you saw it with Jed that he was saying, wake up, wake up.
Really intelligent manager. He's just one of the guys. Seems like a...
Is he? Like, I kind of get that feeling from the press conference. Do you like that behind the scenes as well?
Yeah, definitely. He's really equal to the team as a whole, and tactically, yeah, you know, he's on a level. He's really good. He knows how to, you know, catch your attention. Everything he comes out with is so inspiring. He breaks everything down and, you know, makes it so, you know, easy to understand.
He's got that both sides zone where you can go to the baseball last night and throw first pitch and you can sit and chat to him, but, you know, when it comes to training that, you expect certain standards from the lads.
Next up then, a trip to Boston, where a win for England over Ghana would all but crown them as group winners, helping them map out a path which they hope ends in New York.
Going to concerts, throwing the first pitch. It's a very relaxed England camp, this.
How was his first pitch?
I'm sure it was brilliant. It's all going very well, isn't it?
Brilliant, yeah. No, I mean, now they have a tough game to play against Ghana. They know they need another win for then the opportunity to kind of spare game and to play the subs, you know, and to rest the starting 11.
Get the job done, but keep that relaxed atmosphere, Cesar?
Yeah, I think you go into the second game, try to get it done, and then the third game with a bit more confidence. You use more minutes for the whole squad, which you never know. It's an extra game in the knockout stages, so everyone has to be ready for it.
Okay. Well, on Wednesday night, Scotland are back in action for their final group game. They take on five-time World Cup winners Brazil in Miami, and Ailey Barber has the latest from their camp.
Later today, Scotland will swap the quiet, relaxed, leafy streets of North Carolina for the chaos and madness of Miami, and with it, a chance to make history. It doesn't get any easier for Steve Clarke's men, though. Up next, five-time winners, Brazil.
You think of World Cup, I think Brazil's one of the first teams that come to your mind. The first team I remember proper watching the World Cup and them winning it, so we know the challenge of that, we know obviously that side of it, but what we need to concentrate on is our jobs on the pitch, up against a good side, and we need to be at our best.
These are the type of games that you want to be involved in. It's going to be extremely exciting, there's a lot on the line, and we've worked extremely hard to be in this position that we're currently in, so we're desperate to do well in that game and make it a memorable night.
The other night's game, the goal coming so quick, we need to make sure for the first whistle we're on it, and like any game, the magnitude of these games is definitely big, as big as for some of the players that any games they've played in. We know it's going to be really tough at times because you're playing against match winners who can do things on their own on the pitch and they'll score goals, as we've seen for the previous games. But then when we've got possession, we've got to cause them problems. I think we can.
Look, we're going to go into that game, and I think if there's a nation to kind of get to the next round, you want to do it against these type of teams. So it's going to be a great spectacle. Obviously, Brazil, they've got an amazing history, and we obviously want to disrupt that on Wednesday.
We've spoken a lot about the defensive side, but we actually spoke more about what we can do with the ball, and we've shown the lads a lot of good clips from situations where we got to certain positions on the pitch, and we're just looking for that final bit, that final little bit of end product, that final touch of quality that gets you the goals at this level.
We're going to get a result. That's we know we need that. As I said, we'll give ourselves the opportunity to go and get it. Obviously, a draw will probably be enough to take us through. But now we go there to try and win the game first and foremost, and if we can take a point for it as well, then we would take that.
The permutations of who Scotland could face beyond the group stage changes on a daily basis, but the focus for these guys is just to ensure that they do enough to get there. A point would all but guarantee that they become the first Scotland players to ever experience knockout football in a major tournament.
Well, we've got a couple of days to wait for that one. Next up at the World Cup, France versus Iraq. It's in Philadelphia. It's live on BBC One and iPlayer from 9:30. Norway against Senegal's at 1 AM live on ITV, as is the other game in Argentina and Austria's group. Jordan, Algeria is at 4 AM kickoff on ITV, and then a huge couple of days. England playing Ghana in Boston on BBC One and iPlayer from 8 tomorrow, and on Wednesday, a 5th World Cup meeting between Scotland and Brazil, 10 o'clock for that one. Again, it's live on BBC One and iPlayer. Do Scotland go looking for the win, or are they going to be too aware of that goal difference potentially that could make the difference in terms of getting them into the knockout stages?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because one point might do it. Should they go and win? We have a saying in France: "Is no calcule pas." Which means, what does it mean? Don't overthink. Just win the next game. Win the game.
Do you know what? That feels like a good way to bow out. Ashley has been working so hard on that, hasn't he? His French has come along a lot since you've come into his life, Olivier. Thank you so much, Cesar. Ashley, always a pleasure. We've witnessed history tonight, haven't we? Mbappe is up shortly on BBC One, but the story from Dallas is all about the record-breaking Lionel Messi giving us all an incredible moment at this World Cup. Bye-bye.
The FIFA World Cup 2026. England versus Ghana tomorrow. Followed by Scotland versus Brazil Wednesday. Watch live on BBC One and iPlayer.
Enjoy all the football with your TV license.
Who here can you trust? Secret Shooter will not know your identities, nor you yours.
Shady, shady, shady.
Literally traitor behavior. You're a liar.
Oh my god, girl.
It's getting vicious.
The new series of The Traitors US. Press red to watch now on BBC iPlayer.
Now BBC One, your evening news with Riz Latif in the studio and Sophie Rayworth at Downing Street.
Every
every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision.
Less than 2 years after winning a landslide general election, Sir Keir Starmer resigns. He is the 6th Prime Minister to leave number 10 in less than 10 years. His speech this morning was at times highly emotional.
When I leave the biggest job in the country, I shall spend more time on the most important job, being the best husband I can to my fantastic wife Vic, who has been a rock by my side through good times and bad.
Andy Burnham, member for Makerfield.
Is this the man who will soon replace him? Andy Burnham is sworn in at Westminster as the other main leadership contender, Wes Streeting, bows out. And just look at the reaction from Labour MPs who gathered there to greet him. We've travelled from Andy Burnham's new constituency to Sir Keir Starmer's here in London, finding out from people along the way what they think of these extraordinary events today.
I think it's the right thing, isn't it?
We just go round and round and round. The country's just going down and down and down. I'm really tired of the way that as soon as things start to go wrong, blame the leader, get rid of the leader, put in a new leader.
Also tonight, a rare red weather warning for much of England and Wales as temperatures look set to hit almost 40 degrees Celsius this week. And Argentina's superstar striker Lionel Messi becomes the World Cup's all-time leading goal scorer with this 17th World Cup goal against Austria, and he scored another one. Good evening from Downing Street and welcome to a BBC News special. The Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, has resigned as the leader of the Labour Party after months of mounting pressure. Less than 2 years after he stood right here following an extraordinary victory in the 2024 general election, Sir Keir said he accepted with good grace that the Labour Party has decided he is
Volume 12. Volume 10.
Bye.